Have you always been a Christian since, say, a child or a teenager or adult? Or how old were you when you accepted Christ?
Okay, I was not a Christian when I was a child. I went to a school that taught religion. I won't mention what the school was, but I didn't understand it. It didn't make sense. There was no spirituality to it that I could see. And I kind of rejected God in high school. I actually went to a school that continued on in high school that taught religion. And I used to argue with people, and I was kind of a jerk. I really was. Now, I knew there was something up there. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if it was the God of Christianity, the God of Islam, or Buddhism, or even Hinduism. I was looking for all kinds of things. And when I started comparing notes of all of them, I thought that they all just said kind of different things, or kind of the same thing, like be a good person, and you'll get to heaven. And so that's really, I was sort of a spiritual melting pot at one point in my life. I'm not proud of that, but that's the way I was. And it wasn't until I was 26. I went to a birthday party that I was performing a magic show at, and there was a lady at the magic show that kept laughing at my jokes. I know, it's weird, huh? But she did. And so I asked her out, and we started seeing each other, and she kept saying, well, come to church on Sunday. And I said, no, I don't need to go to church. I went to church when I was a kid during the weekdays, so I had time invested. God owed me. That's where I was at, okay? And so, but she said, well, if you want to see me, you need to come to church. Whoa. Okay. Well, I guess I wanted to see her, so I went to church. And at that church, this church, I found out about God's plan for salvation through a man named Rob Kruger. Rob is Pastor Bill's, what is he, nephew? Yeah, nephew, right. He's actually got one of the biggest churches in New Jersey right now. They're really growing strong. But he gave the argument. He said that either Jesus was lying, or telling the truth, or a crazy person. There's only three things you can do with Jesus. If he's a crazy person, then you shouldn't listen to anything he has to say. Well, you know what? I went through the scriptures, and I started reading, and I read what people said that Jesus said, and what Jesus said about himself. And I realized he was very intelligent. There was no way he was a crazy person. Okay, so I ruled that out. And then he said, well, then he's either a liar or a truth teller. And then I went through the scripture, and I looked and see the things that he said, and the things that he did, and he never lied once. So if he's not a liar, and he's not telling the truth, do you remember the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, what they said about Edmund and Lucy? You guys remember that? And they said, well, who tells the truth, Edmund or Lucy more often? That's when they went to remember they went to Narnia and came back and Edmund lied about it? Remember that part? Okay, and they went to the professor, and the professor said, well, if he's not lying, and he's not mad, he's got to be telling the truth. She's got to be telling the truth. So that's what I did with Jesus. And once I realized that he was telling the truth, he said, well, wait a minute. I am your Lord, your King. I am the way, the truth, the life. Not one of many ways, one of many truths, or one of many lives. I'm the only way, the only truth, and the only life. I said, whoa. And I realized every day I give my life to the laws of nature and physics, right? We're alive today because of the laws of physics. That keeps us alive. Our heart pumps, we breathe. And if there's a person who's in charge of all of that, it only makes sense to give my life to the person who's in charge of all that. That's how I became a Christian. Kind of analytical